construction by Michele and Nicole. Chianti is located between Florence and Siena. Chianti borders with the upper Valdarno basin to the northeast, with the Valdelsa to the west, and with the Siena to the south. An example of rural landscape which represent the environment and the territory.
The municipalities in the Chianti area are between Florence and Siena. Bagnaripoli and Impruneta are not part of Chianti, but many people think they are. Chianti in 1000 CE, a small area in the south of today's Chianti, near the river Arbia, the stream Macellone, or perhaps in the old name Clanthe, from the Etruscan or Mediterranean clant, running water. In the Chianti there is a mountainous part, Monte del Chianti, in the eastern area, which separates it from the upper Valdarno. There is a hilly part in the center-western area, which is cultivated and inhabited. There are the valley floors with the rivers and the streams.
Timeline Human Settlements by Nicole and Sofia.
Paleolithic Canalitic area, small settlements in low hills. Prehistoric age, small villages in strategic areas for the control of territory. Activities, shepherding.
7th century BCE, first massive and widespread occupation of the territory. The Tuscan introduced viticulture.
Villas and farms, land organized in large estates. Only the most fertile land of Aethials are cultivated. Agriculture increases. Olive cultivation begins.
5th and 6th century, decline of states. Single-family houses on top of hills because of swamps in the valleys. 7th and 8th century, villages appear and important religious buildings. 9th century, manor farms. 10th century, mounted castles are on the only defensive element.
12th century, castles with walls. The Siena of Florence struggle for the control of territory. 13th century, annexation of Chianti to the Florentine Republic. 1348, plague. 1555, peace, new agricultural organization, sharecropping, mixed cultivations, rows of grapevines and olive trees, among which wheat, tree racing. Castles become villas and farms.
Construction of the Siena Roman road, increase in the most profitable crops, wines, olive trees, mulberry trees, new crops, straw, iris, houses with heaped roofs, separate roofs, porches, lodges, and dove-cut towers.
Planting of new specialized vineyards, increase in dairy cattle, industrial crops, beets and tobacco. 1925, Gallinero wine category. Law 1164 of 1930, the wine region of Chianti Classico is defined in its present borders. Chianti becomes famous for its wines, its landscapes and its monuments. Italian Chianti countrysides become famous place to live and for tourism.
Hills and Mountains by Ina and Viola. There are hills from west to east towards the Monte del Chianti. These are covered with olive groves and vineyards and other cultivation with some woods. In the northern part of Chianti, near Florence, Valdelsa, San Casciano, Tavernelle, Valdipesa, and in the Greve Valley, the cultivated zones are compact.
San Cassano in Valdipesa and Tavernelle. San Cassano in Valdipesa is a town in the metropolitan city of Florence in Tuscany, on the hills that divide the valleys of the Pisa, Riviera and the River Greve. Greve Chianti is a town in the metropolitan city of Florence in Tuscany. Its economy is based on agriculture and viticulture. In southern Chianti near Siena, the cultivated lands are concentrated around the town Radda, Castellina, Gaiola in Chianti and surrounded by woods.
Radda, Castellina and Gaiole in Chianti. Radda in Chianti is in the hills of the initial part of the valley of the Pesa. Castellina in Chianti is located in the hills between Val d'Elsa, Val di Pesa and the river Valle Arbia. Gaiole in Chianti is a town in the province of Siena in Tuscany, in the Chianti Hills. The Monti del Chianti are part of the central structure of the Apennines. It is a mountain range with deep, narrow valleys. There are woods with oak trees and chestnut trees. There are also areas of reforestation of coniferous trees.
Some highlands with poor soil are not good for agriculture. There are streams, Sezzate, Burro del Sesto, Drove, Mastellone, Burro del Baratro. There are some small agricultural mountain villages. The landscape is wilder than in the hills. The highest mountain is Monte San Michele in the municipality of Greve in Chianti in the province of Florence.
Rivers, valley floors, and urban areas by Nicole and Sofia.
The principal watercourses are the River Greve, the streams Ambra and Pesa that cross Chianti from southeast to northwest, and the rivers Elsa and Arbia.
The valley floors are very narrow, except for the valley floor of the Pesa stream, the Greve River, and partly the Arbia River. These rivers have played an important role in the formation of Chianti landscape. Most of the towns in the Chianti area are from the medieval period: San Casciano, Tavernelle Val di Pesa, Castellina in Chianti, Panzano in Chianti, Radda in Chianti, Gaiole in Chianti.
Many towns are the ridges and on the tops of hills so as to control the surrounding territory. For example, if you are in Radda, you can see Gaiole. Some houses are on the slopes.
The historical center of Greve in Chianti is an exception. It is on the left bank of the river Greve, on the Via Chiantigiana road. It is at the crossroads of three important roads: Via Chiantigiana, Via per il Valdarno, and Via per la Val di Pesa.
Originally, Greve was the marketplace of Castle of Monteferrari. The town and the village were important strongholds during the wars between Florence and Siena. Monteferrari once had two sets of walls.
Climate and biome of Pre-Apennine zone by Rebecca and Julia. The Chianti region is inserted in the Mediterranean area.
Mediterranean mild climate. This climate is inland and it is similar to the usual Mediterranean climate. The summers are dry and the winters wet with mild temperatures. Snowfalls are not common.
There is a relatively continental and four-season version of the humid subtropical climate, common to the inland of Central.
Average temperatures are around 1 to 3 Celsius degrees in the winter and more than 22 Celsius degrees in the summers. The Chianti climate. The climate in Chianti is warm and temperate. The rain in Chianti falls mostly in the winter, with relatively little rain in the summers. The average temperature in Chianti is 13.6 Celsius degrees. The average annual rainfall is 838 millimeters.
The climatic environment is that of Mediterranean vegetation. Oaks, broom, pine trees, and helps characterize the landscape, alternating with large tracts of land. The climate of the Pre-Apennine mountains, finally, are very suitable for the cultivation of grapes and olives.
Meadows by Martina and Letizia. A meadow is a field habitat with plants, grass, and other plant grassland.
Meadows are important because they are open, sunny areas that attract and support flora and fauna. Meadows can be natural or artificially created from cleared shrub or woodland.
They often host a multitude of wildlife and many species of wildflowers, which are important for insects like bees and other pollinating insects and the entire ecosystem.
In agriculture, a meadow is grassland which is not regularly visited by domestic animals, but spontaneously grows. Flora is the plant life in particular region or time. In the Chianti meadows, the vegetation is represented by many grass species, for example, mint and chamomile. Fauna is the animal life in particular region or time.
In Chianti meadows, the main fauna is represented by insects, birds, frogs, and reptiles. There are also some visitors. There are reservoirs. There are different animals and different plants.
Crablands by Giacomo and Lorenzo. Crablands or macchia, Italian macchia mediterranea, is a shrublands biome in the Mediterranean region, typically consisting of densely growing evergreen shrubs. This kind of vegetation is due to the human activities, deforestation, pastoral land use. In the Chianti region, crablands are around the wood and cultivated areas.
Crablands are ecologically important in Chianti. They are the natural recovery of pastoral areas abandoned and ecological poor. They are concentrated near the mountains of Chianti. These are common flora species that dominate the Chianti scrublands. These are some plants of the scrublands.
These are some species of animals of scrublands: hawks, butterflies, badgers, foxes, boar, woodpecker, rabbit, horses, snakes.
Broadleaf and coniferous forests by Greta and Iside.
Forests are territories covered with trees, like pines and oaks. This ecosystem is a composition of biotic and abiotic factors. The biotic factors are animals, squirrels, birds, and others, and plants. Forests occupy about 38% of the Earth's surface and produce oxygen for living beings.
In the forests, there are plants and trees like elm, pines, oaks, poplars, chestnuts. In the forests live animals of different species like foxes, birds, squirrels, vipers, snakes, and badgers.
The forests in Chianti. Forests in the north of Chianti are little areas of broadleaf trees within the cultivations.
In the south, there are broadleaf and coniferous forests that are on the mountains of Chianti.
50% of the Chianti territory is occupied by the woods and presents oaks, chestnuts, and hornbeams. In the low forest, we can see wild fruits, strawberries, mushrooms, ferns, junipers, and cistuses.
The fauna is composed of hares, deer, squirrels, marten, and wild boars. Among the birds, you can see pigeons, partridges, crows, tines, pigs, titmice, and hopopis.
Woods in Chianti are very important ecologically, also because the quality of the ecology is not very elevated, caused by the logging of the wood and parasites, mushrooms, and insects.
The River by Elia El Cosimo. The ecosystem of the river is a system operating in its natural environment and includes biotic living interaction among plants, animals, and microorganisms, and abiotic non-living physical and chemical interaction. River ecosystems are examples of floating ecosystems characterized by flowing water and high concentration of oxygen.
The chirp can reach a maximum length of 60 to 80 centimeters. Adult freshwater stream rainbow trout range between 0.5 and 2.3 kg. Gobies are typically less than 10 centimeters in length.
the animals of the river. The egret is a hare, white or beige, and usually white during the breeding season. The mallard or wild duck belongs to the subfamily Aratiidae.
Riparian foods. Poplars can be from 15 to 20 meters high with a circumference that can exceed 2.5 meters. Older trees are generally of small size, up to 8 to 10 meters. Exceptionally, they can reach 25 to 30 meters.
Pond by Tommaso and Giulia. A pond is a body of water, natural or artificial, usually smaller than a lake. Any depression in the ground which collects and receives precipitation can be considered a pond and can be formed by a variety of geological and ecological events. Rivers often leave behind ponds in natural flood plains after spring flooding, and these are very important to breeding fish, particularly in large river systems. Heron, frog with lily, and frog with lily gambusia. There are two types of plants in the ponds. Macrophytes, larger rooted and floating vegetation. The macrophytes include marginal emergent plants and surface floating plants. For example, Nymphea alba and Caltha palustris. Phytoplankton, microscopic floating algae. Phytoplankton are where light penetrates. The phytoplankton are filamentous algae. Animals are heterotrophs which depend on other organisms for their nutrients. In a pond ecosystem, zooplankton for primary consumers and crustaceans feed on phytoplankton. Aquatic animals like insects, beetles, fishes for secondary consumers. Living animals like big fishes live on nectar animals and are called tertiary feeders. Birds. Birds use this environment to settle, eat, or find refuge during migration. The most common are mullers, kingfishers, and herons. Agricultural and Urban Ecosystem by Sarah and Julia. The anthropic ecosystems of Chianti are divided into urban and agricultural ecosystems. Anthropic ecosystems. The Chianti region supports a variety of agricultural activities: grapes, olive oil, vegetable, truffle, the Saint-Asenese pig. The growth in the urban population and the infrastructures have affected both urban environs and areas which surround urban areas.
Agriculture. There are many vineyards in the Chianti Classico territory. The nature of the land is varied, but it is mainly land originating from foreland with rocky soil. It is particularly suited to the cultivation of grapevine, and so there is a long tradition of vines suitable to the local soil and climate.
Wine. Wine is red or white.
Urban ecosystems. Urban ecosystems are the cities, towns, and urban areas constructed by humans. Humans need land to build urban centers and suburban areas for housing. Deforestation is necessary to meet the land use and resource needs of urbanization.
Flora. Grass, lake, vineyard, olive trees.
Fauna, bird, bats, ladybugs, robin.
Olive groves by Andrea and Sofia. The olive botanic name Olea europea means European olive. It's a species of small tree found in much of Africa, the Mediterranean basin, the Arabian Peninsula, Southern Asia, and the Canary Islands, Mauritius and Reunion.
Olive cultivation. There are hundreds of cultivars of the olive tree. An olive cultivar has a significant impact on its color, size, shape, and growth characteristics, and on the qualities of olive oil. Olive cultivars are used primarily for olive eating or wood. Olive cultivated for consumption and called table olives.
Olive grove ecosystem. In the olive groves of Chianti, the vegetation is represented only by olive tree and wild plants like grass. Typical Chianti animals can be of various species such as insects, wild boar, bear, field mice, frogs, and many others. Plants and animals: wild boar, grass, blackbird, greeted, rabbit, pheasant.
Olive oil. Olive oil is a fat obtained from the olive, a traditional tree crop of the Mediterranean basin. The oil is produced by pressing whole olives and is commonly used in cooking, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and as a fuel for traditional oil lamps. Olive oil is used throughout the world and is often associated with Mediterranean countries.
Vineyard by Viola and Alessia. A vineyard is a plantation of grape-bearing vines grown mainly for winemaking. The science, practice, and study of vineyard production is known as viticulture. A vineyard is often characterized by the specific geographical and geological characteristics of grapevine plantation.
A grape is a berry of the deciduous woody vine of the botanical genus Vitis. Grapes can be eaten raw or they can be used for making wine, jam, juice, jelly, grape seed extract, raisins, vinegar, and grape seed oil.
Vineyard ecosystem. Vineyards are concentrated high hillsides. Intensive cultivation has lost traditional features such as the terraces, the hedges, and the rows of trees that greatly increase the biological richness. The result is an ecological impoverishment.
Some common flora and fauna species of Chianti vineyards: grass, ladybird, daisies, magpie, boar, hoopoe, hare, snake. For many visitors to this part of Tuscany, wine tasting in Chianti is one of the pleasures of their stay. The Chianti Classical Wine Zone forms an oval area between Florence and Siena, with many vineyards and wineries. Many of them offer tasting of their own wines. These are marked by roadside signs indicating degustazione or wine tasting.